Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of MJLive. Listen, go ahead and like and share the live. I'm not going to be here long, probably 10 or 15 minutes. I was not planning on coming live tonight because I'm still trying to recover. So I'm going to hit this really quick and then I got to go so I can chillax and try to get back 100%. So a few things I want to talk about tonight, three things. First is going to be the filibuster and the voting act that the Senate is in session right now voting on. Second is going to be the speech that Biden gave today, which was his first 2022 briefing, solo briefing. And then we're going to talk about the Supreme Court that came down against President Trump. So go ahead, like and share, and then we'll be right back to talk about what's all going on. All right, see you guys in 20 seconds. So as we see here now, the Senate is in session. They are voting on two pieces of legislation. The first one is going to be rather the voting act or the voting bill that they try to push will pass. It is not going to pass, you guys. If you really read the text, basically what they want to do is take the constitutional right, because the Constitution gave the state the right to oversee or govern their elections and give it to the federal government. So therefore, you're no longer going to have a state by state, but it's going to be a federalized election. No one wants that because what works in California may not work in Texas. Right now in the state of New York, illegal immigrants can vote. You see? That's their people. They voted those people in, so that's what they put. So that's the law in New York. However, Eastern Georgia or Waycross, Georgia may not want illegals to vote in their election. So it's not fair for them to say, you know what, big government knows best. Because everything that big government gets a part of fails. So big government do not know best all the time. Look at testing. Big government trying to do testing and it's failing. Big government trying to do vaccination and it's failing. So right now, the Senate is in session to vote on that. It's not going to pass. They're also going to vote to try to change the rule of the filibuster, saying that you need they want to have it that you only need the majority. So 51 votes to pass any piece of a bill that they try to put on the floor. That is not going to pass either. Joe Manchin came out and said, listen, I'm a no to this. And he said, you got to look at the big picture. Yes, if I vote, that is going to help the Democratic Party now. But what's going to happen when the Republicans get into office? Then the Republicans be able to rule everything. So the minority will no longer have a safeguard and a fight. So basically, the minority can go home because the majority is going to rule everything. So it's a no for me. Joe Manchin is probably one of the very few people that have not changed his position. Mitch McConnell, when he was in, Obama was in, he wanted to get rid of it. Chuck Schumer 2 years ago said, oh my God, it's going to be the end of democracy if we get it. Now he's fighting to get rid of it. So again, these politicians change their position based on who's in office. Joe Manchin, he hasn't changed his position, so we have to respect that about Joe Manchin. Next, we're going to talk about Donald Trump and the Supreme Court case. So basically, the Supreme Court have came out and said, you know what, the documents that you guys are trying to withhold, you have to give it up. You have to allow the committee who's investigating the January 6th riots to see the document they requesting. Guys, in my opinion, this is just for politics. Listen when I tell you this. I told you this the entire time that Trump was in the White House. If they had something against the man, we will know by now. He would have been in jail. He would have been impeached. All this would have happened. But right now, politics says this is a good move because everything else that we're trying to conquer is failing. So what a better enemy to run than Donald J. Trump, because that's how Biden ran. He had Donald J. Trump, the enemy of the people. So, I mean, I don't understand why the right is so upset, because Donald Trump is not going to be go to jail because none of his major people are going to go to jail because of this, because there's nothing there. But it's politics. The Democrat is going to play this until the election. Why? Because there's nothing else that they can stand on. So let them do what they have to do. So Republicans, you guys have to just get out and you guys have to change the narrative. If you think this is a witch hunt, call it a witch hunt, whatever you want to do, but you're not going to stop them. You're not going to stop them. So if you guys retake power, you can end the committee if you want. You can end the investigation if you want, but you have to win. You did not win, so therefore the Democrats can do what they want because they have the majority. So we're going to look to see what's else. Basically, after the Supreme Court, there's no other higher court that you can appeal to. So I'm pretty sure this is going to be final, okay? Lastly, let's talk about Joe Biden and this speech he gave today. I have to first say thank you and commend the president for actually coming out and speaking. He spoke a little over 2 hours. The first half, okay, you guys know that I think Joe Biden is boring, dead, just why? Get out of my face. However, the first part of this speech, although it was monotone and dry, it was a good speech. It was good substance. He was on point. However, he started taking questions, he started getting aggravated, and he started getting upset. So during his questions, he started arguing with the press. He started saying, but that's a lie, when it's very much true. They questioned him about his speech that he made here in Georgia about voting rights, and basically was saying, if you don't vote for this, you're a racist. And he's trying to tell them, that's not what I said. That's not what I meant. What are you talking about? Read it. Do you not read? You're a journalist. You're supposed to read. See, yeah. And then he admitted, he said, well, I think it's a lie, but he said, there's certain things that you have to talk about with passion. You have to speak from your heart. Well, if you were speaking from your heart, why was you reading the paper? These people vetted what you were going to say. And no one in your administration said, you know what, Joe, we think that's a little too far. You even had the Democrat Party coming out and said, man, that is too far. And I told you guys last week, you had the black Democrats and NAACP saying, listen, we're tired of your lip service. You ain't done, you ain't doing, and you lied about all the you said you was going to do. One of the reporters said, Joe, I was over in South Carolina and the black people are saying that they vote for you, they put you in office, and it's like you don't care about them. And they are telling me that this voting bill that you're trying to push is just trying to get something through because you lied to them. You failed. Joe Biden tried to justify. Said, well, it's about timing. Everything is going on. And oh my God, there's a lot going on. And I know I didn't do it, but we're pushing it now. No. If it was a priority, you would have pushed it. Look what he did at his first 100 days in office. Look what he did in his first day in office. Then you know what the president or a governor do within their first 24 hours. You will see where their priority lies. And it was nothing to deal with the black community. Yet and still, black people is going to go out and cast their vote for this man because he's not Trump. Or because he have a D behind his name. And that is what I'm trying to tell you guys. I don't care who you vote for, but when you go out and vote, make sure it's people that you're going to hold accountable. And they're actually going to do what they say going to do. Joe Biden's been in the seat for 50 years. He's trying to tell us that he's been back in the black since day one. However, you was really close friends with the racists. You gave a eulogy for a wizard. So again, people know what you're doing when you go and vote. We have to get people in office that's going to push the agenda that we are standing for. If not, then you can't complain because your agenda don't get pushed. Joe Biden also admitted that, Joe Biden said that his administration have done everything perfectly and there's not much that he should change. He said that with COVID that he have done above and beyond the expectation of people. Lies. It's okay to say, you know what, we have up. All this is just a show. So we'll apologize to the American people, but we got 3 more years to turn this around. That is what we should hear from Joe Biden today, but we didn't. We didn't hear anything about the crime that is running rapid through the American streets. We had nothing really about the inflation and what we're going to do to try to reel this inflation in. We had nothing about what you're going to do about, the inequality that the Black people are facing because they put you in. We heard really nothing about criminal justice reform, the things that actually hit you and I, everyday people, he really didn't touch on. And that is where I'm like, Joe, you had 2 hours. You should have just hit him. Even if you didn't go in depth, just hit the key points. So therefore, the GOP and the Republican cannot say, well, he didn't talk about this, he didn't talk about that. Yes, I did. I mentioned that. Then you can argue with the report and say, I said it. Go back and read. Aren't you a journalist? Like he tried to do today. So I'm going to go so I can try to recover because we have a show tomorrow, but I just want to hit on the most important things, and I'll see you guys next Wednesday at 10 p.m. I love you guys. Be safe. Be safe. Be safe. All right. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys.